The people's will and determination for liberty, sovereignty, and freedom cannot be stopped, even in Orwellian hellscapes like Australia. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot to get into today, especially when it comes to news coming from Australia. That is absolutely insane. We're going to correlate that with the latest tragic events that just unfolded in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the worst election in modern American history, just getting a lot more interesting, leading us to a bigger question: if this event could actually bring towards more peace. Yep, something to really talk about and consider. We're going to do all of that, plus a lot more on this independent media organization that, of course, is shadow banned, heavily censored, and 100% demonetized. And because of that, we're doing outside different projects like our Get Out and Live Free campaign, which we are still doing a GoFundMe for. A part of this project, we already did 2 survival apocalypse training courses. We just wrapped one up yesterday with everyone being very happy, including myself, because doing this stuff is really fun, extremely needed, and there's a major lack of right now. So we're doing it, and to be a part of this project and to get special perks like huge discounts on future survival trainings, check out the GoFundMe. Everyone who donates will get a specific reward. We are building those rewards right now. Those rewards will later become products that will be available at a way higher price. So yeah, the GoFundMe is still going. Check it out in the link down below. Now, the news that really caught my attention this morning was, of course, U.S. President Donald Trump saying yes to an initial debate that was proposed by Tim Kennedy after being on the Joe Rogan podcast, where the two proposed that U.S. President Donald Trump and Democratic presidential hopeful Joe Biden sit down for 4 hours with no live audience, just the 3 people. Just Joe Rogan, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump sitting in a room together and having an honest, real, unscripted discussion. You could see Joe Rogan talking about it on his podcast right here.
Yeah, just the 3 of us. And you would have to stream it live so no one can edit it.
Nope.
And I would want them in there for hours.
And ideas, we get to hear what they actually believe in, what they're going to do, who they're going to appoint, what judges are going to be coming in, what policies from gun control to all of it.
Yes.
Why can't we have that?
We should have that. This is 2020. I mean, we have the ability to have that. We're not talking about 1979. We're talking about 2020. If they wanted to do that, they both wanted to come here in Austin, sit down, and have a debate, I would 100% do it.
And I think that's an incredible idea. I think it would be really awesome and really a lot different than, of course, having the controlled mainstream media and the Commission on Presidential Debates. By the way, a very biased organization that does its best to make sure third parties can't participate in debates. But yeah, I'm sorry, the mainstream media and the Commission on Presidential Debates shouldn't be the monopoly when it comes to presidential hopefuls talking to each other, speaking about ideas, and having a very important debate. And of course, a lot of people are taking this situation to meme about jokes about DMT and the conversation being dominated by gorillas. But in reality, having an unscripted, real, casual conversation would be something that, in my opinion, could actually help this country tremendously. Now, of course, Joe Rogan has publicly criticized Joe Biden and Donald Trump before, and very surprisingly, Donald Trump just moments ago officially responded to this proposition with, quote, "I do." Now, with Joe Biden being directly threatened, will Joe Biden accept this offer? Well, the answer is not really that promising, especially with many DNC operatives like Terry McAuliffe saying previously before on record that Joe Biden is best in the basement, not doing many public appearances. And with Biden showing a lack of cognitive skills and also a bigger question surrounding the use of teleprompters and pre-scripted questions with the mainstream media, with Joe Biden literally telling one of his aides to, quote, "move it up here," when, as you would with a teleprompter during a mainstream media, quote, interview. The prospects of this working out are are slim to none, in my opinion, with this particular instance. But with the way 2020 is going, who knows? We would be very surprised. And I think with American politics being extremely hyperbolic, more violent by the day, I think this would be something that would be amazing, because we have to understand here, one of the major propellants of violence when it comes to American politics has been the mainstream media. When we take them out of the equation, when we take out their kind of style of debating, pinning two candidates against each other, having questions that they make sure that creates enough conflict, enough viewers, enough attention for once we get rid of that and we go to someone that literally represents the average Joe, a California stoner, and we have more of a casual conversation, you would take out a big proponent of the nonsense that usually is associated with these presidential debates. Now, would Donald Trump and Joe Biden behave honorably during these debates? That's another question, and it could lead towards a scenario that only inflames the current conflict that's going on now. But I still think more communication when it comes to this election, more dialogue, more communication, more real honest discussions rather than mainstream media divide and conquer bullet points is the real way to go here. And I think we should strive towards having more of these honest debates, honest conversations, rather than mainstream media controlled hyperbolic nonsense that has led us to the current situation that we're in, where literally many experts are coming out and they are predicting massive violence on Election Day. In my opinion, more communication could stop that, and we don't have that. We have social media creating echo chambers, mainstream media radicalizing individuals, and we're surely headed towards a very tumultuous, dangerous period in American history with this upcoming election, where even the Atlantic and even former CIA officers are coming forward and saying that violence will explode if, of course, Donald Trump wins re-election. And we have to understand, a lot of this is facilitated with the help of the mainstream media and also big tech social media that obviously have been playing a huge role in the civil unrest in this country. When it came to protesting the lockdown, well, they were censored, they were blocked, they were obfuscated, they were deleted, they were arrested, they dealt with the full might of the U.S. authoritarian system. But because a protest did something else and, quote, promoted BLM, well, that protest was treated almost exactly the opposite of the lockdown protest. And with this continued obfuscation, manipulation, we're in the situation that we're in now, where even the latest event that just unfolded in Pennsylvania is reported as, of course, police fatally shooting a 27-year-old. But when you look at the details, it's far more complicated, far more convoluted than social media and the mainstream media let on, as there's clear video of this 27-year-old literally running after officers with a large knife trying to stab them. This is also, by the way, the same man who was acting aggressively towards his mother during the time of this incident and also tried to break into his sister's home. When police officers came in, he tried to, of course, stab them. He is also the same man who was awaiting trial for seriously injuring 4 other people that he stabbed, including a 16-year-old. And I'm sorry, if someone is running after me with a knife who's a known stabber, I'm sorry, I'm even going to shoot them. And again, we're not going to show you the video here because it is graphic, but again, this is not as social media and the mainstream media are portraying it. And the fact that there's protest against it really makes you wonder what's going on here. And when it comes to political discourse and civil unrest in this country, we are seeing it at an all-time low, with people just showing inhumane reactions towards the news of someone else being seriously hurt because of their profession or because of their political leanings, like we recently saw in Los Angeles, where 2 police officers were shot, and many people celebrated that news on social media. And of course, this is not an isolated incident. When the roles are reversed, we see similar kind of actions, but this is something that is becoming normalized. And the more and more we see the kind of almost satanic celebration of pain, misery, and death, the more we see it perpetrated on innocent individuals who just want to live their life. Again, the individuals who are promoting these bastardized, evil, horrendous cases are being actively supported and promoted by the mainstream media and authority figures all throughout this country, including vice presidential hopeful Kamala Harris that literally supported and still has up a donation fund that has bailed out criminal monsters who have wreaked havoc on American streets. Another thing to really consider here is compare the events that just happened in Pennsylvania to Australia, where the police have gone full Orwellian, full New World Order, full police state, full Gestapo, full evil, and as seen by a recent incident, literally run over a man who, by the way, where police literally rammed their vehicle at a person, launching him 6 feet in the air, and then they beat him, stomped his head to the point where he is now in an induced coma. And now a representative of this man said that this person did not commit any crime and was being treated for mental health issues at the time of this brutal assault by police officers on this random man. And you know what the politician in charge of Victoria, of Australia, had to say about this specific incident when asked about it?
Much of this, all of it can be avoided if people don't protest. That's the first thing. Because protesting is not only selfish, but it's stupid.
All of this could have been avoided if people don't protest. What? Are you freaking kidding me? This is, of course, a country that has gone full New World Order and controls every little aspect of human life in their country. And with incidences like this, they still expect you to trust them. Real incidences of unaccountable police brutality that deserves the highest level of criticism and scrutiny and punishment for the officers involved in this. And yet, all we get is politicians literally backing them in this incident, saying that this is all because people are protesting them, not liking them, criticizing them. And that is absolutely freaking ridiculous. There was some people in Melbourne that came out to protest very bravely against the authoritarian government that locks people away for even trying to organize protests. And of course, that was met with the Gestapo showing up in full riot gear, trying to shut it all down. Because God forbid someone criticizes the government. And that's a world that I refuse to live in and to participate in a system that is slowly going towards it. They're trying to normalize this behavior in Australia. It's up to all of us to resist it. We still have some elements of the free press, which of course is being heavily censored and denied to a lot of people with the big social tech algorithms and monopolies that do control speech in this country, but we still have some kind of semblance of it, and the government is doing their best to take that away. Even in the United States, where a foreign citizen, a citizen of Australia, by the way, is being extradited to if he loses the current court case that he is involved in the United Kingdom. Again, governments will always look out for their best interest, and they will always look to acquire and gain more power over you. The best way to fight that is to be a self-reliant, responsible human being that does not need to rely on anyone. And if enough people did that, we wouldn't need government, we wouldn't need a nanny state, we wouldn't need an overlord pretending like they're actually helping us when they're just milking us dry, screwing us over. That's my idea, that's kind of my philosophy. It might be naive, but I really do think that the change that needs to happen in this world starts off with you as an individual becoming self-sustainable, reliable, and it begins with small actions that we could all take to be the change that we want to see in this world. We definitely have a lot of work till that happens, but I think taking care of yourself is the first step that everyone should take. If you agree with that, share this video with your friends and family members. It's more critically important than ever, since, of course, YouTube is doing their best to make sure that no new people see this video. The only way that new people do see these videos is of course, if you get them out there. And for you doing that, this is why. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.